Hi, my name is Dena and welcome to my channel. Today, wow, I sounded really different. Hi guys, I'm Dena and welcome to my channel. Today I'm finally touching on the topic that's been highly requested in real life, and it is how I learned English. Although I filmed a video talking exactly about it 3 years ago, it was 3 years ago Dena, and she was a little bit all over the place. I just feel like I can do a much better job in explaining it now, so I'm just gonna do that. And I would also be sharing some tips on making your learning English experience more fun if I have enough time. First, I'm gonna be answering a few questions a lot of people have been asking me. I was born and raised in Taiwan. I went to public schools in Taiwan. I didn't go to international schools or American schools. I got my bachelor degree here in Taiwan as well, and after that I went to the States and studied music in Berkeley. And now I'm back. I came back to further pursue my music career because I had like an opportunity. I released 2 original songs last year. If you guys are interested, you guys can go check it out. Okay, this is gonna be long, so grab yourself some snacks, popcorn. Wow, I'm really craving popcorn right now. And just enjoy while I share my story. I started learning English at the age of 3, so it's definitely relatively young, but I know a lot of you guys have started learning English at a really young age as well. And it was under my parents' English learning program. So we have our own cram school, and we had kindergarten, preschool, and lessons for elementary school kids. Because in Taiwanese public schools, we don't start having English lessons until we're on the 4th grade. So my parents knew that it's definitely not going to be enough for us, for me and my sister. So I went to our bilingual kindergarten, preschool. And once I got into elementary school, I would still go to our cram school after school. So I would have lessons from like 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And our curriculums were all personally selected by my mom, like every time she visited the States. And my mom is like a true believer in phonics. She thinks phonics is really important, so we started learning phonics as well in our classes, and she made sure that we were able to read, pronounce the vowels very accurately in an American accent. And my mom would make sure our students record ourselves when we read. And back home, she would make us listen to English audiobooks before bed. Basically, when I was younger, my parents never read me bedtime stories. I remember it was either me reading my mom bedtime stories or just listening to English audiobooks to bed. I would listen to like Clifford the Red Dog, I would listen to Arthur, that weird mouse. I would listen to a lot of like classic bedtime stories in the States. And as technology kind of evolved, I started listening to movies to bed. That's why I know all the lines to Mean Girls. And that's still what she encourages her parents to do now. And once I got into middle school, my grammar wasn't perfect yet, but it was at least like easy for me to memorize the rules. And as I grew older, I fell in love with like the Western entertainment culture. That really helped motivate me in learning English to a level where I can talk and write just like the stars that I admire when I was younger, like Taylor Swift. And I remember I would look up my favorite singers' interviews on YouTube, and I would follow my favorite YouTubers. I would buy magazines talking about these stars that I'm super into, beauty and fashion magazines like 17 and Teen Vogue. And every time when I encountered a word or a phrase that I'm not familiar with, I would look it up on the spot. I would repeat it, I would write it down on a post-it note and stick it on a wall, and I still do that. So yeah, I was able to learn new things, more information through English. And I know a lot of you guys, or at least some of you guys, have at least reached the fundamental stage. You just gotta push yourself to the next level, and you can totally do it. I mean, my parents don't speak perfect English at all. They don't talk to me in English most of the time. And for those of you guys watching this video right now, I know you guys want to improve your English. I assume you guys are big kids now, or at least adults. Your mom and dad are not going to be there pushing you and creating that environment for you. So you got to create that environment yourself. It was because my parents helped create that environment for me, and I kept creating that environment for myself, I was able to be familiar with the American speaking accent to correct myself every time I practice. I remember when I was younger, my mom would encourage me to participate in like English speech contests. Those are very, very helpful because the training, you will be thanking those experiences. Remember when I got into middle school and high school, I would literally talk to myself in English alone in my room. I think I have a few tips that I can share on speaking English in a less Asian accent or a more American accent. Let me know if you guys are interested. Learning something to a level not only takes motivation, it takes effort and discipline. I still help out my parents' cram school once a week, and we still encounter parents having the expectation of their child reaching a certain level of English without pressure and dedication. That's just not right. In fact, learning, just like what I said earlier, requires discipline. And discipline isn't always fun, especially the beginning stages of learning something new. Oh, it's the worst because it can get really, really boring. When I was little, I actually took violin lessons, and I remember taking a few classes. I just sounded so bad running those scales. That's like very discouraging for a child, even to an adult. So I stopped practicing, and eventually I gave up. And I have to live with that regret till now. Because if I had pushed myself through the beginning stages of learning violin, I could have been a super cool violinist. I'm sure you'd want to be thanking yourself in the future for what you did, all the effort you put, instead of having regrets in the future, right? There are still ways that can make things a little bit less painful. The first tip is, instead of learning English, learn the things you're interested in English. For example, I was really into Western music. I was really into Taylor Swift, so I watched a bunch of her interviews. I bought magazines interviewing her and everything, and every time when I encounter a word that I don't know or a phrase that I don't know, I look it up on the spot. When I watch an interview, when I watch a YouTuber talking, if I encounter a word that I don't know, if I encounter a phrase that I'm unfamiliar with, I would literally pause and repeat it and write it down somewhere. So if you're into technology, buy tech magazines in English and read about it. Follow tech YouTubers. If you're into science, follow people that's talking about science on YouTube. Buy Science Magazine. If you're into astronomy, buy books about astronomy, or follow NASA on Instagram. They're really stepping up their game on social media, by the way. Go follow NASA. You guys get it now, right? And also, you'd be surprised by the variety of people YouTube has on the platform. Okay, so let's come down to a conclusion. Learn something you're passionate about in English. It's the key to keep yourself motivated in the long run. I actually think it's normal and it's totally okay in having an accent, as long as you can get your ideas, your emotions across. For people who have like an Asian accent or an accent that is not British, American, you should be proud of yourself because you at least know more than one language. A lot of people only know one language. To me, if you're someone who's always willing to learn, no matter what stage you're at right now, you already have my respect. Well, you also have to be kind. Okay, if you're a mean person, you don't have my respect. First of all, I still have to mention that I am in no means a perfect English speaker. I still make grammatical mistakes sometimes when I'm not fully mindful of it. I still find myself taking notes here and there, Googling phrases that I don't know, and just really putting effort in learning English. We just gotta be okay and comfortable with the fact that there is no ending in learning and in bettering yourself. And by the way, it's absolutely okay in making mistakes and asking questions in learning English. Okay, there you have it. I still think English is really important in this day and age because it's the international language, and through English we get to learn from people all over the world. We get to learn about the latest objective findings and really cool inventions. But Am I slouching? How long have I been slouching? But it doesn't mean that the Western culture is superior to other cultures. We all hold something worth sharing. Lastly, I want to hear from you. Do you have any tips on learning English? Share with us in the comment section down below. Oh, if you guys still want to know my tips and tricks on learning how to speak in an American accent, let me know. Finally, if you guys like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys in my next video. Hopefully it's gonna be fun. Bye!
I guess I'm just daydreaming. Such a silly girl, nothing's as it seems. I'm upside down.